Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another Office Hours Live. So my name's Kevin, and as always, I have the team here with me today. So welcome to Alice, David, and Rakesh. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey.
So if this is your first time in the Facebook group, maybe you've just joined, we're getting 50, 60 people a week coming into the Facebook group, or it's the first opportunity you've had to jump on an Office Hours Live. This is our weekly show where we go through a number of things with you. So we'll walk you through an education slot. This will show you around some of the bits and pieces that we've built for you so you can get the very most from your new Zenler experience. David has a really awesome slot now, which has become a firm favourite, which is the feature focus, where we'll look at one thing and really that's maybe have overlooked or not an obvious feature within the new Zenler platform that can really maybe help you and change something that you're doing. And then, of course, we have the changelog, which is something the stuff that we've been working on. It may be a new feature, it might be an update to a current feature, it may be some fixes that we've done. And of course, this happens every single week of the year. We work on these things. And last but not least, by all means, ask your questions live. So if you're new, you've got a question that you've not found the answer to yet, then by all means, please type that in to the chat. I've got an echo. That we've built for you, and we will come to that towards the end of Office Hours and answer all of the questions that are put in here live. So please do get putting in your questions. Now, we are a worldwide organisation, so we cover pretty much most countries out there that need our services. So we do switch office hours around. So today we're at 5 p.m. BST. Next week we'll be at 10 a.m. BST. We also ask you to put in your hashtag. So if you're watching us live, hashtag live and let us know what country you're watching from. And also on the replay, same principle, but hashtag replay. Now, we're going to get straight into it this week. I've changed it around a little bit because we've got an amazing announcement coming up towards the end of Office Hours from Rakesh. So I'm going to make you all wait for that because I can. So we're going to start off this week with Alice, and she's going to walk us through the education slot. So Alice, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Kevin. So as Kevin said, we do have quite a few new people coming into the group every single week. So I just want to take a minute to show you where you can find all of the fabulous information. And here we have our tutorial site. So that's at tutorials.newzenler.com. And so this is where you can come and find information on how to get started using New Zenler. So the first area here is Learn Zenler. So you come in here, and that's where you're going to find the Quick Start Guide, which is where we recommend that all of the beginners that are new to the platform start out, along with the basic setup checklist. And then once you've moved through those things, you also then have the complete guide to Zenler, which is also searchable. So you can come in here if there's a specific thing that you're looking to do. You can type in, for example, email automations. I can't see here. And then it will give you all the instances in which email automation comes up throughout this course. And you get a little transcript there, so you can read a little snippet and get some context if that's what you're looking for. So that's a fun, fabulous little feature for you. And also we have our YouTube channel. So go there, subscribe. It's youtube.com/ well, that says C Zenler. So come over, find us there. We have content on the YouTube channel that you really can't find in other places. The new feature releases that David does a quick video on. Also the Ask Zenler. So as a matter of fact, there's a recent one up there that I had asked a question about myself. And so David did a video about it. So those are based on your questions. So make sure you're asking questions, and we will answer those here even on the YouTube channel. So check that out. Again, that is tutorials.newzenler.com and the YouTube channel for Zenler. So go there and check all the things out, everyone.
Perfect. Thanks, Alice. So that gives you an idea of what's available for you. And all of those resources, they're created free of charge. The team here have worked relentlessly over the last year or so to create an environment for you to be able to learn what you need to learn when you need to learn it in a way that will be best for you and your online course business. So do take advantage of that. We've pretty much covered everything that you will need to know, and we continually update and add as we go along as new features are added in and tweaks are made to existing features. Now, one of the things that I always like to cover on office hours is the support element. You're watching this in the Facebook group right now, and it's a fantastic place to get moral support, to get some ideas and all of that. What it's not a good place for is to get technical support. So if you're having an issue with your Zenler account, any of your Zenler accounts, and something's not working the way you feel it should be working, then we do have a very strict way of you actually getting in touch with the support team, and that's via email. So what you need to do is email in support@zenler.com. If you can do a video recording of what your issue is, that speeds the whole process up. What that means is that the support guys and girls do not have to try and recreate that issue. It means that they can go immediately, I understand the problem, and help you to overcome it. If when you email in, you will get a ticket number come back. So that will come back within a minute or two just to say we've received your request and this is your ticket number for support. And then you just have to wait and be a little bit patient. Sometimes it can be the next day that it comes through. But the guys there, they're working relentlessly in making sure that you get the support that you need. So please be patient with them. If you put it in the Facebook group and go, my site's not working properly, the likelihood is the only response you will get is from one of us to say, please email into support. So we'd rather just bypass that whole process and go directly to where you need to be. Okay, so we've covered that bit, which is brilliant. If you've got any questions, remember you can always type them in. We will come back to them before we leave office hours today. We'll always answer the live questions whilst we're here, even if that means we overrun slightly. So do type them in. No question is a silly question. So if you're even new to us and you just don't know where to find something, please do feel free to be able to ask us right here and right now. So while you're thinking about that and you're merrily typing away and coming up with all your fantastic questions, I'm going to hand over to David. David's running what is now a regular slot in office hours, which is feature focus. So David, over to you, please.
Thank you, Kevin. Right. Okay. So feature focus this week, I'm going to cover two things because the first one's really quick. A lot of questions come in like, how do you turn off the powered by Zenler on the bottom of the site? So it's really easy, guys, to turn this off. You just need to come into the admin section of your site. You need to go to site, down here to partner program, up here to partner settings, and basically just turn it off there. Now that is off of my homepage and off of my other pages as well. So that's how you can turn that off. Right. Second feature focus is how can we set up a 2-column, 1 row with an image that actually fits flush to the box. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I've got a blank page here, and inside here, I've just got a block, and I'm going to add a 2-column, 1 row in here. And I'm simply going to click inside here and add an image. So I'm going to upload an image. I'm going to make it one of our lives that we got here. That's why I put it on the gray background. I'm going to upload this without a crop, but you could crop it if you wanted to. And then inside this box, I'm going to just drop in a quick heading. It really doesn't matter what text I put in here, just for this demonstration. So I'll leave it as it is. So I'm going to come across to the text icons and just put some copy in here. And now I'm going to make this whole row inside here a different color. So let's make it something really crazy. Let's go and make it like an orange or something inside the background color, if I get the right one. There we go. So there we go. So as you can see, there's a little border going around the outside. So if I save this and we look at this in demo mode, so I'm just going to refresh this now inside here, and you're going to see that we've got this little border going around the outside. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is you can actually use negative values inside Zenler. Now, with Zenler, unlike most of the other platforms, we give you absolute control over everything, and that includes padding and margins and spacings around it. So we give you absolute control to create anything you like. You're not locked into these set template blocks that other platforms use. So I'll show you how this can work. If I go into the settings of this image, you can see over here that we've got spacing top, left, and right and bottom. If I go to this and I just type a negative value of 10, you're going to see it's going to move up in the box. Now I can also do the same for the bottom, and now you're starting to get it flush. So on the left hand side, I do negative as well. Now it always takes a little bit more on that side. So I'll probably put this to about 15. Actually, I think it's 20 on this one. And now you can see I've got a flush image. Now, as a rule of thumb, this is a top tip for you guys, also make sure that your right margin is the same, because when it goes into responsiveness, it will then line up nicely. So if I go negative 20 there, then you can raise that up there. So just make sure that you do that when you set it. Okay, so now if I save this now, we go back to demo mode and I refresh this, we have an image that is flush to the box. So a lot of you guys like to do these sort of things where you get these nice flush images and you haven't got stuff going around the outside. Now you can get really, really technical with this. And instead of changing those settings on the image, you could also put a row inside a row. Yes, you can put a row in a row. So it gives you even more control. And then you can put an image inside that. So you've got control over the root row, and then you've got control over the row in the row, and then you've got control over the image in the row in the row. So that's how you can create a flush image inside Zenler. So back to you, Kevin.
Brilliant. Thanks, David. I thought you was going to go for a verse of row, row, row your boat then. The amount of rows you were talking about. But again, another really useful one. You know, these things do come up in the Facebook group frequently. Just little tweaks, little things. This doesn't mean that you're a web developer, have to have any training as a web developer. The whole platform was built for people that just wanted to create courses. It's expanded to the point where actually we can host your email funnels, all of those types of things, your blog posts, etc. So it's become an all-in-one platform too. But that doesn't mean the basis of why it was created has changed. You don't need to be a web developer to operate New Zenler efficiently, but you do need to have a little understanding of just how some of these blocks work. And as you become more experienced, you'll just work your own way around of doing it. So it's just easier for you. And tips like this will just help you along the way, just to refine it as you go. You know, so do look out for those because they are really useful.
And they help make your site pretty.
And they help make your site pretty, as Alice said. Okay, right, we've got a couple of questions in. So just want to say hi to Thomas, hi to David. Guys, we will come to your questions in a minute. So please do hang about for those. But I did say we were going to come to Rakesh last in our lineup of regular slots. That's because we've apparently got quite a good announcement coming up today. I'm excited to hear what this is. So I'm not going to hang about too much. I'm going to go straight over to Rakesh for this week's changelog, please.
Cool. I think David has already got a preview. I think you guys haven't seen it yet. So let's go. Do you guys see my screen at all?
Yep, can see that.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah. So I think at New Zenler, we're constantly pushing the boundaries. We're constantly refining and addressing every single pain point that you guys have. I mean, this has been the #1 request around courses since long time. You must have seen it on the Facebook group. People have been asking for it many, many times. So instructors wanted the ability to set enrollment limits for a course or a pricing plan or a bundle, any of that. All of that combination. So now, yeah, quite excited to announce it. We have finally addressed this now. For any course, you can now set enrollment limit. So there's just a little flag saying and set enrollment limit. And if you hover over it, it's going to say limit the number of students enrolled in this particular course. So let's say I want to make sure I can only send 100 students into this course. I can do that. So once you hit the number of 100, it's going the course is going to close down. I mean, you won't be able to take more students, and your students will not be able to register. So you can run small cohorts or whatever with this feature. So set enrollment limits for you can do it at the course level, and we have made it totally flexible. If you look at pricing, we have added it there as well. So you can add it for every single plan. So if you have different tiers, you can say this tier 1 has an enrollment limit of 5. tier 2 has an enrollment limit of 10 and so on. So you can see that on each plan level, now we can have enrollment limits set. So just need to make sure the number of enrollment limits per plan should not, sum total of all of that should not exceed the total number of enrollments you have set for the course. So yeah, enrollment limits, now you can set for the course and for the pricing plan. For each and every pricing plan, you can now set the enrollment limits. And again, in bundles, exactly like courses, if you go to bundles, in bundle details, you should be able to add enrollment limits there as well. So let me just go that this one. So contents, again here, enrollment limits. You can set the enrollment limits here as well. So again, on the bundle level or on the pricing level or on the pricing plan level. So now you have the ability to add enrollment limits on the course level or on the pricing plan level or on the bundle level. So we have covered all the cases for enrollment limits, and this has been a number one ask around courses for a long time. And finally, quite excited to announce it. We haven't announced it yet, so this is exclusive only for the people on live just now. Back to you, Kevin.
You caught me out there. Rakesh, I've got to say, I think you undersold that a little bit there, because this is a big deal. And when you're talking about taking in cohorts of people, taking people in on a limited amount, if you want to have a higher level with, an exclusivity factor to it, you genuinely have that opportunity now to charge more for the higher level courses that you're offering and availability maybe to yourself. I mean, the possibilities here are humongous, and this is a big deal. So if you're thinking that, oh, well, you know what, this isn't something that I'm intending on using, this is a strategy that's been around in the digital marketing world for years. It is something that a lot of platforms won't offer. And it is something that as pro and premium users, you will get access to. So really think about how you can incorporate that, especially if one of the most popular things at the moment is doing membership sites. So if you have a membership element, think about, is there another level that I can add to that I can only manage a few people on, and offer that as an upgrade. You'll be amazingly surprised as to how effective that can be, especially when it's got a number on there and you haven't got to actually manually watch the whole thing, which was the case before. So this is a big deal. So have a look at that, play around with it. If you're on the free version and you want it, then it's time to upgrade, because that's how you get access to it. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's not showing in my account, you need to be on pro or premium to get all of the new features that are being released, and this is one of them. So do look out for that. So fantastic changelog this week, Rakesh. And remember, this isn't all the guys are working on. They're bringing out amazing features like this, but they're still making our platform work for everybody. And every single day of the week, they're working, they're stabilizing, they're making sure things that don't go wrong with videos, the upload speeds are good, everything's working as it should, not only for you, our customers, but also for your customers, because you're out there presenting this platform to your students. You need to present it with pride, and you need to go out and say, this is a really cool platform I'm giving you to have my courses or whatever it is that you're doing. So, the tech guys that do all of the development and the support are phenomenal. I mention it every week, but, without them, none of us would be sitting here. So yeah, big shout out to those guys and girls, young son heroes of New Zenler. But okay, let's move on. I've bigged them all up enough now, I think. Questions, right? Thomas, right, confused about the beta label and Rakesh, I've got to say, this has come up a number of times. I've had conversations with people this week about it, so I think it's a really valid question. Confused about the beta label. Is it safe to import my full running business into Zenler, or is it still too early? Can you explain what the beta actually means, please?
Hey, Thomas, I think this is a very commonly asked question. Beta for us just means that we are constantly refining the platform. We have set out a roadmap to have a list of features that we want to push out to production. So we will make sure we'll take as much as time we want to make sure we roll all of those features out. So we run our beta program very differently than other programs, and we got lots of instructors, some instructors even doing $1 million sales on the platform. So yeah, so the platform has been running for I think more than 2 years, the new Zenler platform, and yeah, I think we got quite good stability as well. Yeah, I think it's beta is just a tag. We can remove it even now, but we choose to not remove it to make sure we can constantly refine it and get to a point where we can say, hey, now is the time to go live, and that's when we launch.
Perfect. I mean, there's a real underlying honesty about keeping that tag there right now. And that doesn't mean it's a substandard service. You know, we're very open about how this is being developed with the help of the community and the ideas coming through. But as Rakesh rightly says, there are people making big money through this. You know, I'm making lots of sales through this. I know other people that are making lots of sales through this platform, and it works. Having that tag doesn't in any way, shape or form mean it's not a usable product or something that you cannot confidently go out there and say, this is where I host my digital courses. So we have to be really clear about that, but it's a valid question because it does come up frequently.
Can I jump in there as well, Kevin?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, of course, you know, you're having your say. So now is the time, you know, and you've got this amazing deal. We've given you this deal because you're in here and you're testing everything out. There's so many people launched. I've launched, like Kevin's launched, Alice has launched sites. There's tons of other sites that are fully working, membership sites, all sorts of sites, hundreds on the system that are running, or thousands. So it's very stable, but it does mean while it's in this beta stage, you're in a really good position, because one, you get this actual grandfathered pricing that we're never going to do again once it launches, and the other thing is you get direct say in what's happening, you know, and you're testing it. So if you find anything wrong with it, you can go to support straight away. We fix it straight away and it goes in. Luckily, there's not too many fixes to be done. So and we're just launching new features that you're testing out for us as well. So it's really good that you're in on this now. And if you've got that pricing's for life.
That's exactly what I was going to say, David. Like, to me, the beta tag means, hey, your feedback is weighted even more heavily right now than it ever will be. I mean, it's always at Zenler, we really care about support and providing you with what you need. But beta means we're listening a lot more closely to every detail.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Right, David's excited. Kate's excited about your update, Rakesh. So that's really, really good. Kevin's got a question. So good afternoon, Kevin. Good to see you here. So his question is that basically saying on a sales page, if 100 sales come in, the sales page will no longer be available or will redirect due to being sold out?
Rakesh?
Are you there, Rakesh?
Your mic's off.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. Cool. Yeah, I think, hey, Kevin, thanks for your question. I think what we mean by set enrollment limits is if 100 students comes in via your checkout page and you hit the limit of 100, no more students can register on that course or on the pricing plan, depending on whatever way you set the enrollment limits, whether it's for courses or for pricing plan. Yeah, so the page, everything will still be available. It's just going to say the page, the pricing plan, or it's not open for enrollment, that kind of thing. I think we already do it for, I think, some cases. It will be pretty similar to that.
Yeah, you get a message up like you do for if you haven't put a pricing plan in a course because you're not ready to release it yet.
Exactly.
You'll get a little sign coming up saying course is not available for enrollment. So that's what will come up. So when that cuts off, then that message will come up.
Yeah. And of course, if you've got 3 different prices on there, one may just not be available, the other 2 might be. Perhaps for future development, if it's a one item on a page, it will go to a redirect when it's sold out to maybe put them on a waiting list. That could be something for the roadmap going forward. That would make sense. It's just not there at this stage right now, but we're really focusing on just getting that availability to restrict how many you could have in there. And this works really, really well for that. So Excellent. Okay. Kate Hart, no other platform does this. Brilliant. So she's really happy. So that's brilliant. Angie, to be clear, so just a bit of clarification on that. Once we have reached the maximum number of enrollment, do we have to copy the course to open enrollment for the next cohort?
It depends on how you set it up. You can either increase the number of enrollments on your course, or you can add a new pricing plan with a new set of with the new limit. So it's entirely up to you. So you don't need to clone, or you don't need to copy a course. Copying a course is never a good idea, because then you're going to have two versions that you have to maintain.
Yeah, cool. Right. So another question coming from Sonia. So Sonia asks, can you explain how the subdomains work in New Zenler? I have a client who I want to have an example name.com as the main website. I want to create a subdomain.name.com as the URL for the courses page. Is that necessary in New Zenler? I come from Kajabi background, and that's how it's usually done there. So in Kajabi, it must be all subdomains.
No. Kajabi, you can use a main domain, root domain, and you can also use a subdomain. But it's exactly the same in Zener as well. You can use both. So you can have your domain, or you can have your subdomain. So some people, they'll have maybe a WordPress main domain, and then they'll have a subdomain for their New Zener school, where you can do it the other way around. It's up to you. And all it means is you just put a little bit of information in your CNAME record with your hosting company, DNS record. We have videos on that with most of the major hosters. So if you follow our videos and our support docs, it should walk you through it.
Yeah, there's no restrictions on that. Of course, you've got to be pro or premium. You can have 3 completely standalone URLs on there. They don't have to be subs. All 3 of them can be different. It's really up to how you envision it to be. Hopefully that will help you. We'll try and find a link for adding subdomains and custom domain names in, and try and put it on underneath this particular live for you, Sonia, just to help you out. David's saying, why wouldn't images update in the media library? What can I do besides clear the cache in my browser?
Rakesh, have you got
Hey, David, I'm not entirely sure what exactly you mean. If you're talking about the media library, I think it's probably something that support needs to look at, because I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. So maybe send a loom of what's going on, and if it is something related to a particular image you're trying to update and so on. I don't know. I haven't seen this issue occurring on, seen this issue reported on by other users, but it may well be the issue. But I think support would need to check.
Yeah. The go-to move, David, on this is to go into an incognito Chrome window and just log in there and just see if you've got the same issue, because that gets rid of all the nonsense in your browsing history and on that Chrome window that you might have open. And if it still persists, often that solves a lot of the problems, to be fair. But if it still persists, just put a support ticket in and let them have a look at your particular account. With a new version of the image. Okay, perfect. David, David Kavanagh is asking, so you can have unlimited subdomains with no limitations running off a main domain on Pro. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. So you can, whether be it subdomain or custom subdomain or custom domain, you can have three of them in Pro and 10 of them in Premium.
Yeah, perfect. So David likes my suggestion, so that's brilliant. Sonia, what if both the main website and the courses will be New Zenler? So both will be considered as a separate domain, i.e. 2 of the 3 we have available.
I'm sorry, I don't what you want to use. So say you're on Pro Plan, you've got 3 sites. So yeah, one of the sites could be the main domain, and the other site could be the subdomain. You could even use the 3rd one for another subdomain.
Yep.
So that's how it works. By the way, setting up your subdomains and having your domain is all hosting side. So you buy your domain, you set up your subdomains on the host. It's nothing to do with Zenler. You can just hook it up inside Zenler.
Yeah, I think Sonia's trying to host the main website and courses both on Zenler.
Yeah. Sounds like that. And she's just clarified, that's what she means.
Yeah,
so
she says yes. So good.
Yeah.
I love this question, Thomas. Thank you for asking your question. Can New Zenler be as efficient as WordPress when it comes to blogging and SEO, or is it still recommended to have the blog on its own?
That's your question, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, when you look in New Zenler, there are, of course, with SEO, there's so many different elements to it. Within New Zenler, you can create a blog and a blog post. So the blog is where it's housed. The blog post are the individual posts that you put into your blogging area. And all of those do have SEO options to them, the same as with the images, the alt tag. You can have all of that done. Of course, the majority of your SEO will be done organically through the text of the blog posts. So that will be on-page SEO. So there's no reason why you cannot gain good traction through your New Zenler site. Now, what often will happen, and most people will fall foul of this, is they'll write 3 blog posts. They might put a tag somewhere and go, I'm not found in the search engines. And that's really rather common for people to feel that way. To get organic SEO working for you properly, you need to have a plan and you need to be consistently updating. I will tell you to do it twice a week minimum. Other people will tell you to do it once a fortnight, which is good enough. It's not. So you need to have that consistency, good quality content, look at the optimization on page, i.e. on the actual blog post itself, and then do it. You'll start to see the benefit of it. There is no reason why in the New Zenler environment, with the SEO settings available to us, we cannot be found organically in the search engines. So you can also remember, I know everybody thinks WordPress is the be all and end all of the whole marketing world out there, but you know what? You have to maintain it. And I've seen WordPress sites that are as dead as a doornail and that don't have any SEO benefits. So in actual fact, I was looking at one today that somebody had used a load of black hat techniques on and they'd been penalized in Google. So if you want good SEO and you want to be found, you have to have a base level understanding of what that even means before you start to say, will this platform do it or not do it? Because our platform most certainly can help you, but you've got to understand what you're doing with it. Very long-winded answer to quite a short question, but it's important to understand that.
Yeah, and Kevin, we also have the marketing course as well. So if you go in there, you can learn the basics of SEO.
You know, there are things coming up, there are trainings coming up that are going to focus on this side of things. So do look out for those. They're going to help you. Of course, all of the training we provide here at New Zenler is free of charge, even if it's outside of the scope of what buttons to press to make your site work. We do marketing training, we do mini courses, we do all sorts of things alongside this to really help you as a rounded digital entrepreneur to get the very best from this. So do look out for those. So that will probably help you, Thomas. Okay, next question. Renee, my blog is still gaining traction after 4 months. It's amazing. That's testament to it. So that's a clear and concise answer. Sonia, I missed the training for creating custom certificates. Is there a link for the replay, David?
Yes, there is. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lee/Zenler. Alice mentioned earlier. Scroll down to our live workshops and you'll see down here that it's already in there. Okay,
fantastic. There we go. So that's brilliant. Bergie is here. Welcome, Bergie, live from Sweden. Bergie, you're the first one that's put #live and where they're from. Everybody else has forgotten. So thank you for keeping the standards of office hours live up. I knew I could rely on you. Thank you so much. Thomas is just saying thanks. So that's brilliant. Okay, let's start to wrap up. We've just gone over half an hour. We try and aim for half an hour. You're in the Facebook group right now. I do need to remind you of a couple of things to look at in the Facebook group. So when you look along the top of the group, there are 2 places you need to go. The first one is the announcement tab. We've talked about the development of New Zenler as it is. You will find in there a roadmap. You will find in there things that we deem important. So we will load them up. If it's a workshop that's going on, we've got a day with Zenler coming up, all those types of things. They'll all be marked as an announcement because the feed within the Facebook group is really quite busy. So Wow Wednesday's in there as an example. So if you're not using Wow Wednesday, come on, it's Wednesday. Let's get on it. It shuts down after today. So look in there because we think they're ones that you shouldn't be missing. So they're really important, and I will go in and clear them up after a while and reduce the amount that are in there. Change logs in there, feature requests is in there. So if there's something that you want to see in New Zenler as an element that isn't available right now, put it in as a feature request. We will not promise that it will be done, but what we will promise is it will be looked at and noted. So it's always worth doing that. The second area to look at is to go under the More tab, go on to events. You'll see all of the upcoming events. So we've got office hours in there. We've got a day with Zenler, part 1, part 2. That's this Friday. We've got Zenler platform overview. Zen chat will be back in there again. We had that Monday, so that was pretty awesome. And what you can do here is just tick that you're going if you want to attend that event. There's no commitment to it, you know, but what it does do is Facebook then reminds you an hour before that event's about to start, just in case you do forget what you said you were going to do. It's a really useful thing just to have as a reminder. It also lets you work out your calendar going forward. So you know when office hours is going to be, because we do change each week. You know when live events are coming up, when workshops, boot camps, and all of that's happening. So it's a really useful place to go and have a look around. Okay. I'm going to go back very, very quickly just to the chat before I close off office hours for today. Renee live in Cyprus. I'm so pleased, Renee, that you've put that in second place. But you know what? It's a really great effort. Nobody's come in third yet. David, if I want to give you 100 fully paid clients, when can we book in a time to do a webinar to get together? Interesting. I'm sure that you'll. Is that a question? I'm not really sure. Anyway, I'm going to leave that one because I just have no idea. But thank you, everybody. Let's just do a quick before we go around the room just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. And I'll do my bit at the end. So, Alice, is there anything that you need to mention for the upcoming week?
Yes, actually, we do have on Wednesday or on Thursday. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow we have the introduction to Zenler webinar. So if you are a new or a free beta member, even as a free beta member, if you've been with us for a while, this is an opportunity for you to really get a tour of the Zenler platform and all of the additional features that we offer under the Pro and Premium plans. So that is happening tomorrow, and that's 9:30 a.m. EST, and that's 2:30 BST. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
Is it? Okay. And then next week, we're actually starting with the new Pro and Premium member onboarding webinars. So if you've recently upgraded to the Pro or Premium level of New Zenler, then you can book in for the onboarding session, which is going to be happening Tuesday. And you can find that information. If you don't mind, I will just share my screen really quickly.
Yep.
And that's over at the webinars.newzenler.com is where you can find that. The live webinars, which are the introduction to New Zenler, is right here to click through to book. And then the onboarding, which is for Pro and Premium members only. So you can book your onboarding there. And that is what I have. Thank you, Kevin.
Perfect. Thank you, Alice. Okay. Oh, I'm not on camera. Here we go. Right, David, over to you. Anything upcoming for you this week? I know there is.
Yeah, we've got, you've already mentioned it actually, we've got a day with Zenler, so we've got part 1 and 2, so it's a schedule. We're running from 9 till 12 BST time, then we're running from 3 till 6 BST time, so the whole day, 6 hours. So we're not running any Sundays because it's quite a lot, but we have got stuff coming up as well. So on, if you go to tutorials.newzenler.com, you're going to see all the stuff in our latest live events. So we have the link there to David Zenler, any live builds coming up. And we also have the start of a new series of live workshops for the Southern Hemisphere. So all times have changed, so we can get all the Australians who missed out on all that live training, and we're going to do an overview of that on the Sunday, the 7th of November. So you've got the times and dates there. And we took those times from a poll that we did, and this was the best time for you guys. So we have now catered for that. So we're going to be showing you an overview of what's coming up for the next months and months for you. It's going to run through all the workshops. So it's going to be good fun.
Fantastic. Thanks, David. Rakesh, anything else from you for this week coming up?
Nothing else, but yeah, stay tuned for the office hours next week as well. So hopefully we'll have more updates, more features on the platform.
Brilliant. Last from me, look out for Zen Chat. It's going to be a week on Monday. So the last one we had was Monday just gone. It was a phenomenally busy experience, and there was business being done, believe it or not. It's only our third one, and people were starting to get leads for clients. So this is what it's all about. Come along, get to know each other, see where you can understand other Zenler users and start to forge those relationships to the point where you could look out for each other and help each other along the way. So that one's coming up. I've also got the SEO sprint, which is going to be live in the Facebook group. That's coming up. So look out for that. That's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be next week. But dates to be confirmed. So lots of good stuff coming up from the team in the next week or two. All that's left for me to say is office hours next week will be at 10 a.m. BST. We're at 5 p.m. BST at the start of this particular office hours. So do look out for that. The new next month's whole schedule will be uploaded this week. So you can just click that you'll go and look in the events so you don't miss an office hours. And as Rakesh has said, he's got a massive update for you next week. Well, maybe not massive, but it'll be something that you'll want to hear about.
Maybe not. Let's see.
But it's always worth coming along to office hours because you never quite know what you're going to find out. So please do try and come along where you can. But from me and the team, thank you everyone for coming along. Appreciate you being here. Have a fantastic week with your new Zenler sites, and we'll see you in the community or in office hours during the course of the next week. Thanks everyone, and see you all soon.
Bye for now.